it's Mark and Cindy on the radio, 10 to 11 a.m. Well, it's Mark and Cindy, they've got a morning show. Every day I listen in. We're gonna talk about what's going on in town. You never know who's gonna come around on the Mark and Cindy Show.
Good morning, everybody. You are listening to the Mark and Cindy Show, and it is Thursday. Just 24 hours till we have a weekend.
Whoa, yay! Everybody's dancing in the streets.
But this is our weekend, because this starts our weekend, because tomorrow we're going to be the best of.
The best of, and we got to decide what's the best, Cindy.
Yes.
That's for dang sure.
That gets really difficult. Maybe
That's
we'll...
not any pressure on your guests at all.
That's no pressure. By the way, our guest,
this will be
a very new friend of mine, Jessica Honsinger. I've met her while performing in the Inherit the Wind play. She's in that, but
Sure, Mark.
Exactly. She's an actor, multi-talented.
Sure.
I would call her an athlete too. I've seen on her website we're going to talk about the camp, the hunting camp, sports camp. Anyway, she is very agile and all. On the stage, she looks very meek and mild. And
she does. She plays
does.
it so
She's sweet
well.
as she can be.
Wow. Well, she's a triple threat. She's beautiful, she's athletic, and then she can act, and you probably sing and dance, right?
You know, if she
Don't
can
say
only
She probably knits too.
juggle. I don't know.
Yes,
That's what I'm.
right.
But anyway, she's going to be on in just. She's right now sitting next to us, but we'll drag her into conversations as we're going on. But we're going to talk about her specifically in about 15 minutes after our first break. Cindy,
That's right.
What the heck was going on with you? Anything of excitement?
Well, I'm driving the kids to school, the grandchildren to school, and I see this humongous, big, silver, brand new looking bus. You know, one of those and it was a tour bus. In the back of it, it says First Class Tours, and it's driving down in Willis. I mean, in the back
doesn't make
roads
sense,
of
Cindy.
Willis. I am trying to
not
think of
getting it.
what could they be. You know, my house is way too over there to do it. So, but they're driving through there. I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. So this is so weird and out of place, and people are staring at it. And then I'm coming back from dropping them off, and they're sitting in the parking lot of one of the big schools there, and there was I didn't think about they could have been hired to take the band
chartered
members,
bus.
somewhere. So that's what it was. But it was exciting. I mean, maybe the only exciting thing that happened in Willis this week, but it was fun.
Have you gone to the Willis sporting events at all? Football, baseball, the luge?
Well, does Sport Day at the elementary school count? I've done that.
Shouldn't, but yes,
I've done
oh
that.
my gosh!
But I haven't gone yet. I haven't got caught up in that. As soon as Samuel starts playing football, we probably will. And
Is he interested in that?
No, or Cindy becomes a cheerleader. We might do that, but
I would
I
love
haven't
to see
yet.
Cindy as a cheerleader. The little girl, she's got these little wire rimmed glasses, and out
She's
there.
so shy. She just probably
yes.
whisper.
I'd pay to see that.
WWILD. Wildcats, and they've got beautiful colors. Purple, that's her favorite color.
They
so
do.
maybe that'll happen. But Willis is a great place. It's a great place to live. I just don't think anybody wants to tour it. That's all.
That's true, and I have never been at a sporting event where they needed a tour bus. We always had the school bus. I don't care where we were going.
It's kind of the same thing, Mark.
It kind of is, but it's not nearly as comfortable. But
No,
I
this
have
was
been
first class.
across. I mean, we went all the way to Tennessee, Nashville in a bus. I was a co-sponsor of
When you were
Amnesty International as a teacher.
Jesus.
And
Oh, no.
It was when I learned Vanderbilt University was. I realized that's all you need to know.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Good morning.
Yes.
we're up.
Anyway, Vanderbilt University was there in Tennessee
Okay.
and Nashville. I never knew it till that time, until I had to walk about 5 miles to get there. Anyway, the bus, a bus ride. Have you been on a bus? Stop at we stopped at Willis from Conroe. Let's go. We stopped at Willis. We stopped at New Waverly.
Ay.
It was terrible. Anyway,
No, I'd be
not a fan of the bus.
I want to know, Mark, what is the best day you've ever had? I got to know.
what?
The best day. Because every time you talk about past experiences, you never talk about a good experience.
The best day.
when you met
we'll get back
Kay,
to that.
when you married Kay.
Yes.
And
Those
every
are standard
anniversary
answers.
of that.
You know, they are
but
standard.
I'm sure they're
You
true.
know, one time, and it was on the first, date with Kay. It wasn't a date. I took her to the Dadgum Park after church. She just started going to our church. I knew her since she was in We were in junior high together. She sat behind me, had no interest in her whatsoever, little homely girl, and I was nothing anyway. But then, and I see her later when I'm in college, you know, and I say, hey, you want to go to the Pasadena Park and walk? So we're walking down this deep, it's supposed to be a creek, it was a gully. Anyway, walking, and, you know, it's just, I'm thinking, and I don't know what she's saying, I'm thinking, what is this? I don't know what this is, a date or whatever. And she was close to the edge, and she just grabbed my hand like she was afraid or something. Yeah, and I said, oh, my goodness.
Oh,
So the
boy.
I guess it's a date.
So the goalie became a creek in your eyes.
It did. It was beautiful.
No, it was a
Fantastic,
babbling
Mark.
brook, I'm sure.
They had one of the stinkingest zoos at that little
I mean,
park.
look at that. See, that's a good day.
It was a good day.
There you go.
good.
Mark
Very
had a
nice
good day,
day.
folks. I just want to make sure everyone knows that.
I'm
It's
sorry
a real
that I
deal.
come
He
across.
reflects. He reflects on it often. But I've got to ask you, as a teacher, are you the only teacher there with all these kids, or they have 3 or 4 of you there?
Oh, in
to watch
Vanderbilt?
Yeah, whenever you went. somewhere.
There were 2. There's
There's
me
only 2?
and a counselor.
And how many kids?
20 probably.
That's
And,
not,
you know,
you need
it's-
about 1 teacher per
you
3
got
kids.
to.
You know,
There
I
you
think
are,
that's not enough.
You're in the hotel, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want to know. But,
I'm
I mean,
sure.
just in school, you'll hear after some event, you know, oh my gosh, the band went to so and so. Did you hear where so and so got expelled for doing what and all? And my thought was, I would have never caught him. I don't.
No, because you want to believe the best of everyone, right?
Yeah.
and that's
Exactly,
how you do. And you
Cindy.
don't want to feel like anybody's doing anything bad. That's just, you don't want to perpetuate that kind of reputation that.
There was
Teenagers have?
one girl there, Stacy, that was, I don't know what I did or neglected to do or whatever, but she had a great deal of respect for me after that. I was at Vanderbilt, and I went in. The other counselor was in bed asleep, and I said, I got to check on these kids anyway, because they had a big party down there, Amnesty International. Anyway, and I walked in this big room, and everybody's sitting down, and she's sitting down with these boys. She ended up marrying the boy she was sitting with. It was really weird.
Thank
and
goodness.
I saw drinks there, but they looked like, you know,
They were drinking
Jessica's
Dr. Pepper
got cold
and
coffee
Juice
there.
boxes.
And I'm thinking, here's what every teacher I know would have done. Not every teacher I know, but most of them. They would have picked up her glass and smelled it
Drank it. Yeah.
just to make sure, and I didn't. I just thought, trust, faith, whatever. And anyway, I apparently it was alcoholic, because she was so pleased.
That you didn't test
I guess
the drink?
that was it. I don't know. I really don't know.
Is it
but
really your business to check out other people's
oh,
drinks?
you better believe it is.
A teenager,
Dang.
yes.
If their mother lets them go on this trip with Mark Hader and what's her face, and
So you immediately believe they're drinking?
No, he gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
You listen with such a bad filter.
Well, see, that's the
Listen.
negative thing. You know, I'm down all the time about stuff at Dick. I don't care what you say. You know, the sun's shining. Yeah, but look at all that dadgum smog or whatever. But anyway, the greatest thing I took back from that, let me tell you this. I'm sitting there with all these people, and I'm thinking, well, I got to go back, you know, to the hotel. I'll leave this the way it is. And all of a sudden, they had a disc jockey. They put on Rolling Stones. If you start me up, boom, boom, start me up,
Here we
I'll
go.
never stop. I tell you, everybody got up out of their chairs from the table, and they started rocking. I'm just sitting there, what the heck? I'm very sheltered. I did not know, but I love that song ever since. Just boom, boom, boom. Anyway, that's old stuff. Fun
Speaking
time.
of
yes, change the subject, please.
negative things that you think are negative, but Samuel loves Minecraft. Minecraft is one of the most popular games with kids of that 10-year-old, 9-year-old,
Do you know what this
12-year-old.
is?
Minecraft. You've
Yes.
heard about it before. Okay, see?
She's an avid player. Can you not tell by the way she looks?
She looked at me
No,
like,
She's beautiful, talented, and she plays Minecraft.
I told you, triple threat.
Triple
She
threat.
is.
She's a double Jedi. I don't
Well,
know.
Samuel loves this. He keeps trying to get me to come in and watch it, and it is so ugly. It's an ugly-looking game because it looks like a bad
they're blocks.
Lego.
Yeah, it's-
yeah, but it's just
Bad
ugly
animation.
looking.
Do you
I
think
would
Legos are beautiful?
Well, if you would give them some 3D effect or something, but this is a flat, ugly
You need
thing.
to take what Mark does. Is he sees a creek, but it's a goalie. But when
Yeah.
he sees when he's happy, he sees the creek.
True.
So look at those blocks.
True.
And see what Samuel's trying to build.
I don't know how
Deep
to do
thoughts from Richard.
Yes,
okay,
thank you.
so anyway, so Samuel comes in and says, "Please watch this game." And I'm always like, "Good, okay, all right." Walk in there. I do like a Chevy Chase, looking at the
Yeah.
You know, the Grand Canyon. Got it. But he wants me to sit in there and watch him build all these things, and I can't do it. But he got my attention when he came and said, Grandma, I just got a free update, and it's the mating update. And
Okay, now
I'm just
scared.
really, and I'm going, wait. Mating? Are you saying mating update? And he goes, yeah, it's a mating update. And it's the coolest thing. And I went, okay, I got to see this one. And so I walked in there, and he says, watch this. And he clicks on, and these two sheep are running around. They come up together,
I
and
don't know if I
they
wanna
just,
hear
I'm going like I didn't know what was going to happen. And they come up together, and they're nose to nose, and all these hearts come out.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, a little sheep pops out of the female sheep. That's how. And he said, "See, look, it's a mating." So that's their idea of mating. That's okay.
I was wondering how that worked.
All right, that'll be fine. But
Talk about
so you
having a
gotta watch.
sheltered life.
That was scary. See, I thought it was Australian mate, but
Yeah,
this
no,
was-
this is
white
mating.
thing?
But I told him, I said, Samuel, you're too young to have a mating update on this thing. And he goes, Grandma, listen. This is the life cycle. And I know about the life cycle, okay?
He
And I
said
went,
that
yeah.
damn Samuel.
I said,
is-
okay.
Okay, never mind.
You know, but he does go hunting.
Well, it
with
started
his
with dinosaurs, right?
grandfather, and they talk about the deer and
Yeah,
the
and the
rutting.
antelope plain.
And that's called rutting.
Okay, enough of that.
Rutting season. Okay, I'm sorry, but anyway, that's you never know what those 10-year-olds
You
or 9-year-olds
cannot
are gonna.
envision what's going
And
to happen.
Minecraft is teaching them more than you think. Okay, so what?
By the way, when we do know what's going to come after our break here, Jessica Honsinger is going to talk to us about so much
Special
stuff.
guest.
I've got particularly,
So many
I'm
questions.
interested in a lot of stuff, but I'm
Okay.
interested in Maine. I love the state.
It
I've
is.
been there once.
It is gorgeous.
Great.
It is gorgeous. So we will be back. We're listening to the Mark and Cindy Show, and it's on Lone Star Internet Radio. Okay, we'll see you.
Hello, sleepyhead, and gets me moving in the right direction.
Do you ever wonder what's going on in the business community? Are you looking for ways to get plugged in? Cassandra Roshan here, Director of Membership Development with the Greater Conroe, Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to invite you to tune in to Chamber Chat. Tune in the first Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. so you will be in the know for all Chamber happenings for the month. Each month, the Chamber offers 2 free lunch and learn sessions, a networking breakfast, business after hours, membership luncheon, as well as many other special events throughout the year. I will give you a rundown of all programs and events for the month, as well as interview our speakers and hosts of these events. So grab a cup of coffee and tune in to Chamber Chat the first Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. Chat with you then.
Did you know there are over 800 abused children in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Susan, a volunteer with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. April is Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. Casa Child Advocates trains and supports volunteers to be the voice of children who have been removed from their home because of abuse or neglect. We need volunteers just like you to speak up for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com or call 936-441-5437.
Wakes me with kisses. Hello, sleepyhead, and gets me moving in the right direction.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mark and Cindy Show and Huey Lewis singing us back.
I'm
Oh,
so
that
glad
guy.
we gave the responsibility of the music over to Richard because he is
He
just,
comes up with good stuff.
really
I
Good
just choose what I
stuff.
wake up to, and this
There
is what I woke up to this
there you
morning.
That's
go.
scary.
I like
So-
that.
I
that
hope he never
inspiration
watches
is.
the dinosaur show, the Purple
You-
Dinosaur, whatever her name is.
You are listening to the Lone Star Internet Radio with the Mark and Cindy Show.
And our special guest, Jessica Honsinger. And
Coming
the minute I saw this young lady perform on the stage during rehearsals and all, I said, we need to get her on the show at some juncture. And by the way, there's a couple other actors I'd like to get here also. And Don Hampton's coming, the director, Tuesday, I believe it is.
That's right.
I tell you, the things I don't know about Jessica, volumes have been written about. But what I do know is her talent in acting, and she spends part of her life in Maine, state of Maine, where she co-owns a hunting sporting lodge. And I wanted to find out about that. But first, I'd like to find out some about acting. How did you end up auditioning for this? Where were you at the time, and what were you thinking? And
Yeah,
you've
what were
acted
you
here
thinking?
before. You've acted here before, and
I have in Conroe, yes. I grew up in Montgomery County, so I came to the Crichton Theater also in Conroe growing up, and always wanted to be a part of the local community theater. And of course, then they opened the Owen and started doing shows there. And so I was actually living in Maine at the time when I heard about the auditions, and I knew I was going to be coming into town and for a couple of months, and I wanted to be a part of the show. So
what was your first show here? Do you remember? Surely you do.
the first show that I saw here,
No, that you were in.
yeah, a couple of years ago, or maybe no, it was more than that, maybe 4 years ago. Ooh, time flies. I was in Dearly Beloved at the Crichton with the acting troupe Stage Right, and loved it. Yeah, the people here, audience and the people involved in the play are just so nice, and it's really a good time, a good group of people to get involved with. So
I tell you,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was going to say the difference between the Crichton and Owens, there is a vast difference, but both of them have their high points. You're definitely closer to the audience here at the Owens, and I like the back area better than the back of the Crichton, unless they've improved it since the last time I was there. And
Well,
there's
unless
not,
you can show us pictures, we
that's
wouldn't
true.
know.
It means nothing. But there's so many fewer ghosts at Owens than there are at the Crichton. I'll tell you that up front.
I
did you just say
love
fewer
that.
ghosts?
Yeah, that place is haunted, but they're
Great,
nice
that's all
ghosts
she
from
needed
all
to
I've
know.
seen. They're very sweet.
Well, you're afraid of ghosts?
I didn't say that. No,
No,
I said they're nice
Jessica,
ghosts.
are you afraid of ghosts?
Yes.
Well, I am now.
Well, yeah, that would do it. No, I
Why are you afraid of ghosts?
they've got a bad rep, bad PR. I mean,
Maybe they're just misunderstood.
I think that's what it is.
Well, they can't touch you.
You didn't? Did you ever see Poltergeist? I don't
Yes,
know. Maybe
that's
it's,
right. That's right.
Yeah, but anyway, and when they move the
totally
walls
a
and the
movie.
doors,
You better hear it on Old Time Radio Hour next month.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's
'cause it's
right.
the
I need to
ghost-
listen to one of those.
Yeah. What's
But,
the name of it?
Poltergeist.
Oh, Poltergeist. is gonna
Speaking
be
of
okay.
Jessica, we are in.
Jessica.
Go ahead, Cindy.
Does your family still live here?
They do, yes. My sister and her family live in Dallas, but the rest of them live here in.
So you're only here for just a couple of months, and then you're going to go back to Maine?
That's correct. Yep. Our camps are open from May to December. So from January through April, we travel and do other things, and we're here this year visiting my family.
Well, you are so well-rounded. That's wonderful.
When May to December, when does the snow start generally? I know it's been a weird year, but
Yeah, we usually have snow by Thanksgiving. Sometimes as early as October, sometimes as late as December, but usually by Thanksgiving we have snow.
okay. Do many people go there during a holiday like Thanksgiving or something? I imagine you're closed Christmas, I would guess. But,
Yes, we're closed by Christmas. We close like the second week in December. It's right after muzzleloader season ends. So
Boy, that is a blasted
Muzzle loader
season.
season. I didn't know they had a season for muzzle
Oh
loading.
yes. Oh well, I have learned. I don't come from a hunting background, so I had a lot to learn when I moved to Maine and started running a hunting and sporting camp. But yes, there are different seasons for archery, regular, rifle season and stuff like that, and then black powder, which is muzzleloader. So.
That is so cool. Now I have to jump back to the Owen Theatre and talk about your experience with this play. Because the subject matter, is so controversial, and especially in our town, and in this town, I'm sure that people would go to it and go like, this really couldn't have ever happened here in Conroe, but probably one of those Yankee places it could have happened, but not here. And so have you gotten any backlash from friends or family here, or is everybody like, it's cool, it's only a play?
Well, like I said, I grew up in Montgomery County. I went through the Magnolia school districts, and we actually had a very similar experience even when I was in school, and I graduated in class of 06, so it wasn't that long ago. But I remember there being some controversy about the whole teaching evolution thing. There's a few things that they do in schools here in Texas that are a lot more controversial than they would be up in the Northeast.
Right.
Also with health classes teaching sex education and that kind of thing. There's some controversy there too, and you still have to get parental permission to be taught certain things, and those kids are removed from class if their parents don't want them learning that. So you still see that a lot in society here, and I don't, know particularly why or if it's still that way, but we are a conservative state for the most part, and you kind of have to tread lightly. But I don't think that the play is really forcing anything
Viewpoint.
either way on people. Kind of what they do is sort of, just lay out things that might arise, and it really pinpoints the right for people to choose what they believe.
It's
And to
fiction-
think.
It's fictional.
Exactly.
Well, did you have any problems learning your lines? He knows what I'm working around too. Did you have any problems learning your lines for this?
I didn't. But I don't have quite as many lines as Mark here does. So I got off easy on this one. I've done a lot of Shakespeare in the past and had to do a lot of line memorizing techniques to try to get those down. So when I get a play where I don't have difficult dialogue like that, it's always a little easier on one hand. On the other hand, it's hard because, and I know Mark has problems with this too, with the paraphrasing thing, because sometimes you can't remember exactly the way it was phrased because you get so caught up in the moment when you're acting, especially my character, because she gets so upset and
Emotional, yes.
emotional
Right.
a lot of the time. So sometimes that's difficult.
Well, we were looking for some techniques for Mark, and so if you want to share
That's
some
what
techniques.
I wanted to hear. You said
what kind of techniques did you
for
use?
Shakespeare and I even saw on the internet before I came here something about learning techniques for memorizing whatever, and I never thought of going to the website or something to find out.
To
the
Google.
internet.
Google.
But I'm
Google
not
everything.
telling you to go in detail, but there are hints and things you can do to.
Yes, there are. And, it's like with anything. Some of them work for you and some of them don't. And
Right.
some of the things I use probably other people have never heard of before. I just,
Well, that's the ones we want to hear
everything
about.
kind of my
What are the
own
ones
way.
that nobody else has ever heard of?
I don't know. I mean, I play guitar and stuff, so I respond well to music. So to me, I find like a musical note or pattern in the words, either with inflection or, alliteration and sound words, word sounds, to try to help me to remember what's coming up next.
So that helps with Shakespeare mostly, I would think.
Yes, it does.
It's really creepy you said that, because Ian McKellen makes a statement just like what you just said about doing Shakespeare and about finding music within his dialogue. And he did a little actor studio probably about 40 years ago, and they filmed it. And I was watching it the other day, listening to him. But he said that exact thing.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. I love him. He is so
Yeah, he's a
wonderful.
great actor.
He is.
Yes.
You
Well,
know,
go ahead.
I
Mark.
can't do the that stuff. In teaching, I know all 27 amendments, and it's from a game in my brain. And the stupider I can make something, the easier it is to remember. And I
Right.
try to teach my students that. Many of them will still, know some of the amendments. But when you're on stage and you're talking about paraphrasing, if I stood there and waited until I got the complete words in my brain, as they're written, which, that's what the director wants. It's, anyway, those words, if I stood there and waited for the exact ones, it's gone. I mean, I'm standing there looking around, but I can say, except for Saturday night, I could say exactly what it was. But like I say, coming up with something to paraphrase Grid of Morality, I could not come up with a dadgum thing, and that was very frightening.
Is it because your director is so strict about you doing it literally word for word?
I don't think Don is that strict about it. Some directors are, stress that more than others, but personally as an actor, I feel like the words were written that way for a reason, and it's not really the actor's job to decide what way's a better way to say it, because, and Don has pointed this out before, sometimes paraphrasing changes the meaning of what you're saying. That character says it that particular way because that's how they would phrase it. And so, changing that to how you would phrase it changes something about the character. Maybe it makes them more bold. Maybe it makes them more
But that's why I appreciate. In fact, that's the only reason I can think of going to a play. Like in Here at the Wind, I don't know how many times it's been shown. They're going to show Oklahoma Save My Soul. And, wow, Christmas Carol's coming up. Well, why would anyone go unless they want to, well, I don't know why
Just
they
see
go.
it live.
But see something different. In other words, I want to see what an actor adds to it. I've written a couple of screenplays, and if I'm unlike any other writer in that I sit down, here's what he would say. And if somebody read that and said, oh, I'm going to say it this way, I'd say, oh, do it. That's
Right.
what I was thinking. I didn't sweat blood coming up with this. And there's some lines in this that I don't think
they would care.
Yeah, on the fourth day, not the fourth day, fifth day, he peopled the ocean with fish. I mean, why? I wouldn't say that. I mean, Don would have to hit me over the head if I had to say something like that. People the ocean with fish. Anyway, and that steals a lot. I understand that. What's his name? Honsinger, Joey, whatever his last name is. I'm sorry. Lamont. Thank you. His wife is directed before and several things, and she's going to direct Greater Tuna. And she's going to put a different slant on it, and she's put different slants on some of the other plays. I was wondering if that's against the law or something, but she is doing it, and I appreciate that. There are so few contemporary plays that get a chance, and some of the ones that I have seen that got a chance were just too bizarre for me.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you like a director who is much more micromanaging of the role that you're doing, or do you like the director that says, "Do it how you feel it"? And I'm not talking about just the words, but just the way you act, or do you like someone? Does it make you feel more secure to have someone tell you exactly what they want you to move, act, and all?
I like a director that knows his actors and knows what's going to be best from them for that play. So, to me, it's helpful for the director to know what they're looking for, what they want, so they can communicate that to me, and I can figure out how to incorporate that into the character. But, of course, I like to have creative freedom with it as well. And, if you're on the same page from early on, then you really don't have a problem matching up, your vision for the character and the director's vision for the character. They cast Mark. He cast Mark for that part because he saw Mark in that part, and he obviously felt like Mark's portrayal of Drummond would be what he was looking for as well. So, part of that gives you confidence when you have been cast because you feel like, oh, he picked me for a reason because he likes where I'm going with this.
Right.
So you're already starting from a place where you're both headed in the same direction.
Before you said the Mark thing, I was going to say that was very well put. The part about the director knowing what you can do and all, that is very important. And I've been blessed with directors, a few things I've been involved in that actually do know their actors and would, some things they'd tell me don't do that because they realize, Mark, you couldn't do that if you wanted to. But
That's not in your range.
Yeah.
If they know your range. They've seen you in other things. But I think, Jessica, when you saw the character of Rachel and looked at what she was going to have to give the audience, I'd like for you to talk when we get back from the break about what it is that how you gathered that up and how far back you went with Rachel and developing a character. If you could do that when we get back from these few messages. You're listening to the Mark and Cindy Show. We have a special guest, Jessica Honsinger, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Now I'm with you, baby. Your loneliness is over. I do my best to give a love that lasts forever.
Hey y'all, Montgomery County Emergency Assistance is presenting their first annual Don't Mess with Texas Women Concealed Handgun class on Saturday, April 12th at the Conroe Shooting Center, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's limited to 30 participants. It's just $100, with all proceeds benefiting Montgomery County Emergency Assistance. Register online at mcea-tx.org. Bring your gun and let's have some fun. Don't Mess with Texas Women Concealed Handgun class, April 12, 2014, and all proceeds benefit Montgomery County Emergency Assistance.
Hi, I'm Joyce with the Corner Pub in downtown Conroe. We're located at the corner of Simonton and North Main, just across the street from the courthouse. The week starts off Monday with open mic hosted by Alan, and Tuesday nights open mic hosted by Jeremy Bankhead. And on Thursday evening, McFarland Jams. There's nightly drink specials available every night, all night. And don't forget, live entertainment every weekend. To see a full list of events, visit our website at thecornerpubinconroe.com. So come join us at the Corner Pub, where the deli is open late.
Hello, this is Dennis Nelson, inviting you to come with me through the doorway of imagination and into the theater of the mind. The Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour presents a play every Saturday night at 7 p.m. on Lone Star Internet Radio. Be it drama or comedy, thriller or love story, every exciting episode is carefully chosen straight from the golden age of radio and performed live by talented actors, musicians, and sound effects crew. Every sound you hear will be 100% live and homemade. Anything can happen. So join us, please, every Saturday night at 7 p.m. for the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Later in the evening, it's been a busy day.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the Mark and Cindy Show. And when we left just a few minutes ago, Jessica had been, Jessica Honsinger's here with us. And we're talking about her acting abilities and talent right now. And Cindy had asked her a question.
Yeah. I wanted to find out how you prepared once you went and auditioned for the role. Did you prepare before you auditioned, or did you get there and this was the part that you thought, this looks like me, and so you go ahead and just do a cold read for it?
It was a cold read. It was the only character in the play that I fit with age range wise, other than being, a townsperson, kind of a thing. So I auditioned for this role in particular, yes, but I was very interested by the character. I usually won't audition for something unless I really want to do it for a particular reason, and this one intrigued me because it was a lot more dramatic than other plays that I've done. I've done a lot of comedies and some musicals and Shakespeare, like I said, and I've done some dramatic roles in films, but I've never done anything like that on stage. So I knew it would be a challenge, which, is always...
what you're looking for, right?
Yeah, exactly. Always something to help you grow. And also she really stood out to me in reading the play because she is the only character that's really torn between both sides. And she goes through such a transformation. Most of the characters, when the play begins, they know where they stand, and at the end of the play, they're still in the same place. And she really goes on this journey, and the audience gets to see that. So it's a really special role, and I feel really lucky to get the opportunity to get to do something like that.
And you played it very well. I know that ingenues, which you'd be cast as a lot probably because of just the way you look, just your outer look, they go like, oh, she'd be perfect for that, and if she can act, that's terrific. But she has the look, and this one did stretch you because you had to get very upset, and you did have to make a change on stage. And a lot of times those ingenue roles did not have that. They're playing a character that many say it's hard to play that character because I'm having to do something very normal. There's nothing, exact about it. I'm not being mean. I'm not being this. I'm just trying to be a normal person. But you did have the range of emotions, though.
It's funny that you said that because through the whole rehearsal process, of course, it's fun, it's exciting. You're getting to know everybody in the cast, and there's a certain line there where you have to start making sure you stay in character on stage and taking everything more seriously, and That happened very late for me on this play. Sorry, Dawn. But there was a point where I was having some problems with the character, and I went to Don about it, and he told me, you know, I like where you're going, but you know, you really have to think about, just like you said, how real of a person she is, you know. And Rachel she's not glamorous. She's not. The play takes place in the 50s, and so of course it was a fun thing for me and the costume designer and everybody to be like, oh, 50s, you know, we're gonna curl our hair and wear red lipstick and do all this stuff. And after doing all of that, and it didn't really feel right for the character, you know. Rachel is the Reverend's daughter, and so she's very conservative, and so she is kind of a plain Jane.
That's a good point, yeah.
And it also takes place in a small town.
It does.
So
yeah,
that really does affect them.
Very much. And when I started thinking about it, I was like, geez, you know, it's a lot easier for me to connect with that. I was always felt like I was kind of plain Jane, you know. I am from a small town, and I didn't ever care what people thought of me or what I looked like, or, you know, I just did my own thing. I was my own person, and so that was easier for me to connect with that than trying to be this glamorous 50s ideal of what this, you know, woman would be like.
That's true. That's a real good point. I mean, that's a good read into it. And your boyfriend, who is the teacher who this all starts the whole controversy. We're talking to Jessica Honsinger. Sometimes we start talking to people maybe coming in and they don't know what we're talking about. And the play Inherit the Wind. And you are playing the daughter of the Reverend, who is very passionate about making sure that this court case goes the right way, because you're not going to have any of this evolution stuff in their town. And so your boyfriend, who is so meek and mild, and how do you play against someone who he has that feel? I mean, he's at the end, you know, he has a little more confidence, it seems like, but at the beginning he just has this very meek, very doesn't understand why all the tension is, you know, on him and all that. And playing up against someone like that, was that difficult or help your character?
Well, as an actor, it really comes down to a certain extent, the people that you're working with on stage, because obviously whatever they give you is kind of what you have to work with also. I mean, you bring what you have, but that's only 50% of the scene. And so, you know, Mark and I have had this conversation before. We love doing our scenes together because we really feed well off each other on stage. And Clint's character, who plays Bert Cates, who's the teacher that you know starts the whole thing, is based off of Scopes, and the real life character that character is based off of wasn't necessarily a real strong guy that had these strong beliefs. I'm going to teach it this way, you know. He was almost, I wouldn't say used, but he was kind of chosen to be the one that went through this whole process. Right. Even though he might not have been so adamant about it, it was important for him to set that example. Right. And so that's kind of what his character is. And so when I looked at it from the viewpoint of Rachel, she can't understand how he can make that choice and let him be. Well, why don't they just choose someone else to do that? Why does it have to be you?
Really messed up your plans.
Yes, it did. You know, being in a small town, Rachel and being the Reverend's daughter, Rachel is very concerned with how this is going to affect their life, because she doesn't know anything else, and you know. But
don't give it away what you end up doing.
Let me say this. We've had 2 reviews on the play that I've seen, and this was one that David Dow Bentley, the People's Critic, he not only writes for the Courier, but several other publications, and he has a website. Here's what he said about Rachel. One particular scene, she's on the witness stand, and David says, there's another moment of high drama when Miss Honsinger gives a convincingly emotional performance as Rachel breaks down on the stand while testifying. And, you know, when you're doing a rehearsal and you're doing that and that and that ever. But then when the play starts, she is just wonderful there. In any scene I'm in, we usually don't, go back and forth and back and forth. In fact, in the first, the toughest thing I've got is I'm supposed to be reading an indictment here, and she's got this dialogue. She keeps going, and Don said, don't look at her, don't even pay attention to her. That's very difficult.
Sure.
In the time when you're talking about your father, and actually my favorite scene is the close to the end where she's telling about what she's learned and all. And this is a stage, and if you could see her face while she's saying that, it is so beautiful, animated in a way that is just very touching, precious, I would say. I don't know if she likes that word, but it is.
But coming from you, Mark, precious
exactly.
is good,
and when she says
word.
Bean plant, I would like to take a picture of her. That's when I'm.
Yeah, so that's you guys have a great rapport on stage.
Well,
it's very good, even though it's the antagonist. But you do so well with her. When she's sitting in the stand, she's the witness stand. Yeah, you're so far back. You're at the back end of the stage, but you do with your emotion and all. You do bring yourself out to the audience. So, and that's very hard. That is very hard to do.
That
so
is a tough.
But we, I appreciate you coming on because I really enjoyed your performance. And a lot of times you never get to see that person. And Samuel got your autograph and you graciously gave it to him, my little grandson, and he just loved it. He thought that was so cool. And so what do you want to do next? What's coming up next for you?
As far as acting, I'm not sure. Obviously, I want to push forward and, get more involved in it. I haven't been as involved as I'd like the past couple of years. I've been busy with work and things, but yeah, I don't know what's on the horizon. We'll just have to wait and see.
And you're going back to Maine when again? When again?
Yeah, after the show ends, middle of April, we open the camps back up on May 1st for fishing and ATVing and that kind of thing.
I tell you what, I really hate is that I didn't have time to I was really interested in that part of it, and we don't have much time to have her back on the show.
What about a website that you can give the people?
Yes.
Yeah, the website is www.bulldogcamp.com. The name of the camps is Bulldog Camps, and we're on Facebook and TripAdvisor and all that stuff too.
That's plural. Camps?
Yes.
Is there multiple Bulldog camps or
yeah, the term camps in Maine refers to cabins. So yeah, so it's one cabins. Camp, but there are multiple cabins. Yeah. We have a beautiful spot on a pond up there, Enchanted Pond.
Boy, they do.
It's very remote. We're 10 miles off the nearest paved road. So it's really out there. We don't have electricity. We don't have phone service really. So it's one of those magical places where you can kind of get back to the way life used to be.
There's
when it was
a video on their website that just you see everything and see what people are doing. They got the
they have a lot of production camps, people that want to learn editing, shooting, and all that, and they have them in Maine, and that was always my goal. I want to go to one of these times, and I bet they have a lot of acting. I know Robert Redford had a camp up there for acting and stuff. So there, it's a place to go. It is the place to go, and we just appreciate you coming out here, and you can certainly sit there because coming up is an encouraging word coming from Mark. Now that may be strange to you, but it is. No, he is wonderful, and we always send our listeners off with an encouraging word, and we'll be back with that. And you're listening to the Mark and Cindy Show, and don't go away. We have an encouraging word coming right up.
One of the.
It seems like everything I do, I'm doing better. Doing it all for my baby.
Hi, this is Erica Tullis, Executive Director of the Breast Cancer Charities of America. The Breast Cancer Charities of America is a national nonprofit organization with our headquarters in the Woodlands, Texas. We focus on non-invasive breast cancer research and helping the true patient that is going through breast cancer. Through our Help Now Fund, we help women pay the rent and utilities while going through their breast cancer treatment. It's unlike any other program that truly is out there. We are here to help the woman. Our phone number is 936-231-8460. For more information or to get involved or to even make a donation, please visit our website, www.igopink.org.
Hello, I'm Bonita DeRosa, Animal Control Officer for the City of Willis. We invite you to tune in to Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. for the Willis Hour. On the first Thursday of the month, the Willis Hour will be covering upcoming events and news about the city. Join in the conversation with your city officials and other leaders in the community. On the third, we will be doing a recap of the last City Council meeting. The mission of the City of Willis is to provide high-quality services, accountability, and professional commitment to our citizens. We pledge to provide those who live, work, and visit our city an effective government that is open and responsive to the needs and values of the community. Again, we invite you to tune in on Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 for the Willis Hour.
Income tax time is here. If you earned less than $52,000 in 2013, Montgomery County United Way and Entergy Texas want you to know how to get your taxes prepared absolutely free. Beginning February 1st, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, known as VITA, will provide professionally trained volunteers to prepare your return in a way that is safe, free, and confidential. And they will help you see if you qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit. That could mean up to $6,000 in your pocket and in our community. Montgomery County United Way improves lives of all our residents by mobilizing the caring power of our community. We want all our neighbors to have the opportunity to live healthy lifestyles, have access to education, and to improve your financial independence. This tax season, don't pay hundreds of dollars to have your taxes done. Locate a VITA site in Montgomery County by logging on to mcuw.org or find a site near where you live or work by calling 211. And please remember, give, advocate, and volunteer. Together, that is how we improve lives and live united.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mark and Cindy Show, and this being our final clip of the day, this being Thursday. It's Thursday.
Yes, I know.
We do have our time for an encouraging word and a few messages following. We were talking here with Jessica Honsinger, and she was mentioning techniques. She didn't give me any particulars about how to memorize things and all. And
you don't play the guitar.
I know that's one of many things. True. I tried to play the piano once, and the guy who was teaching me, here was his excuse. He said, "Mark, you might as well quit." He said, "Because your hands aren't big enough."
Oh, really?
Instead of saying, no, he could have, that's not it. He just said, "I don't want to mess with you anymore." That's your problem. You can't hit these. Anyway, yeah, there's excuses for anything. But what I was going to say, techniques, in life when things happen to you, Cindy will tell you, I'm usually talking about, when you're down and all, because I've been there and I've been, I think all of us, maybe just me, I don't know, have been lonely in crowds and all, like what's going on, what's happening. And you can open a Bible or something and read whatever, and that's a good thing to do. But, there are techniques to envision God that help me a bunch. And I was reading this morning, and I was thinking again about the moments in life when things get down and all, and I was thinking of the passage I was talking about yesterday, and I've talked about a bunch, about when Jesus Christ was saying, "Come to me, all you who are weary, heavy laden, and I'll give you rest." And he says, "Take my yoke upon you, learn of me, for I'm meek and lowly in heart." And he also says, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." To envision yourself down, a problem, a concern, something horrible, and to think, I've got a yoke on like an ox, and the way I've mentioned this before, the way I'm a genius on oxen. No, yes. I don't know anything about it. But in the olden days when they used to plow, they would get an ox that was, experienced plowing, knows what to do, calm and all, and they would take a younger ox and yoke them together and just keep plowing with them, because the older ox is going to pretty much drag this thing, and he'll learn how to do, no, don't go over there, you can't, and all. And in my mind, when things are going nuts on me, I think, and it sounds bad, but it helps me. I'm yoked with Jesus Christ, and I'm
right.
trying to follow his pathway, and I'm going over there, and he says, I'll lead you in the path of righteousness. I mean, that's either a big lie or it's true. And if I can envision that in my mind, him looking at me and him reassuring me, it helps. And then I read this morning from a gentleman by the name of John Newton, who is the great nephew of Fig, I think. I don't think so. I made that part up.
Yeah.
But he said something so good that helped me a bunch. He said, if the Lord be with us, envision this, ladies and gentlemen, if the Lord be with us, we have no cause of fear. His eye is upon us, his arm is over us, his ear is open to our prayer, his grace sufficient, his promise unchangeable. If, I'm going through things, if I actually believe that and then start acting like I believe that he's listening to me, that his eyes on me, that he's got his arm around me, I'm in the yoke with Christ. Anyway, those visions can help me a whole bunch, other than somebody say, hey, you can get through this or buck up, which, by the way, always say that to me. If you're there, yeah, I'll say it. But if I can envision that,
around.
it is a beautiful way to, I think, live life, and I don't do it nearly as much as I wish I did.
It is a beautiful way because I mean, and the things that you read and that you've told us and we've talked about the Bible saying, it's amazing to me that some people do not have any kind of faith that that's really true. If you just try it, it's going to work for you. I know I have, and I thought to myself, like really and truly, think about this, Cindy. Do you think at the end of time and the judgment day comes, is that he's going to go, I was kidding you, it was all April Fools, all that stuff I told you about.
You fell for that?
You fell for that, come on. I don't think it's going to be that way. I think it's because we have enough receipts with us today to prove that things that he said to do and we follow him, it's going to come out wonderful. Mm-hmm. It's going to be great. And I think that the encouraging word we have every day is unique to a lot of radio programs, and I don't hear that a lot. And it's so exciting that we can evoke the word God and Jesus and Christ, and that we can talk about these kind of things.
Yeah, thanks,
and
Dick.
it's all because of Richard, because Richard is
guy.
the one that said, well, you got freedom, and you can say whatever you want to say.
Cindy, speaking of great stuff, what's happening this weekend that's
Listen,
great?
Don't forget the rummage sale that the Homeless Service Center out of Conroe and serves Montgomery County is having. They're going to have it in the Woodlands, and if you go to homelessservicecenter.org, and they will have all the information about the times and where to go, and if it's something you want to bring and help that organization that we've been talking about do so much for the homeless here in this area.
And you've seen some of the items, have you not?
Oh man, just coats, just the coats alone that they have been that have been donated to this organization, furniture that's been donated, and this is upper echelon type of people. These are rich people. They
I would have a place to put them.
No, they give, and people buy these things for cheap price, and then that money goes to help serve.
Okay,
them.
Big subject change. What movies are coming out that you know of?
Well, Noah's coming out, and
it's gonna be awful.
No, it's not. And
they edited it. You didn't read about that?
Well, it's going to be long. It took
not...
them 150 years to make that dadgum boat.
They made a big deal that the word God is not used in any of this. It says he talked to me, he said this and all that.
Well, apparently the director didn't get the final say on the cut, so he has a director's cut already. I don't know if that's a marketing ploy, but the director of that's pretty good. And I imagine I'd wait till the DVD comes out, and then you get to see what he wants you to see.
Well, but it's just amazing. And what Russell Crowe said, that the way he got this part was the guy calls him and he says, I'm coming to town, I've got a movie, and so let's just meet. And he goes, okay. So he sits down, he goes, I'm going to tell you the name of the movie, don't say a word, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to give you if you do this part. And so he says, the word is Noah. Don't say anything. But I'm going to give you...
He threw a telephone at him. Sorry.
It's not like anything you've ever known about the story. It's not the children's story. And you will have the type of freedom that you've always wanted to do a part like this and make this, your part and your role. And he says, okay, well, all right, let me see the script. And he said, I saw the script and saw this guy had had it where this is believable, that this really did happen. I knew the children's story, but I didn't know all that went into this. And I learned so much about the Bible, and he started talking about what this did to him and changed him and all. So he said, and what they spent on doing the set and building the ark. And he said, you see it and you won't believe it, but you'll believe it. He said, you'll believe that this is what the ark must have really looked like. So anyway, he said people need to go see it and not go with open minds, and they'll come out talking about it. And he says that's the most thing you want to happen to a movie, is that people will talk about it. Yeah. And if people want, and if you religious people want people to talk about God and know it, it's going to happen if they come see this movie. Right. So
you forgot about Sabotage.
Sabotage is coming out?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And whatever you do, don't forget about Inherit the Wind, Friday night, Saturday night,
low
and
priority,
Sunday.
Mark.
And
low priority.
2 o'clock.
Low priority.
Anyway, yeah.
No, we have two of the stars right here with us, and we're getting ready to talk about everything else except
you've got
Inherit
one of the very
Wind.
talented people with us today.
Owen Theatre this
right.
weekend.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in, listening. Jessica,
tomorrow.
thank you, young lady.
Thank you.
Great
And we'll
to
be
see
here
you.
10 to 11 tomorrow as well with the best of, and I'll probably be this show right here.
This is hard
So
to do.
anyway, you guys go out and make it a great day. God loves you, and God's got this.
Every day I listen in.
Hey everyone, this is Tina, your host from Retro Saturdays. I wanted to invite you to visit the Lone Star Studios here in downtown Conroe, Texas. We're all volunteers here, and we need your help in serving the Montgomery County area. Radio media is a fun field to be in. Lone Star Internet Radio serves Montgomery County with news, current events, local programming, and of course, music. If you are interested in volunteering and sharing your talents in media, go to irlonestar.com and let us hear from you. Lone Star Internet Radio, serving Montgomery County from the heart of downtown Conroe.